ceremony. I am Terrance Dominguez-Hover, but I go by Dom. I am the president of the FLCC Student Corporation and the previous president of the Student Veterans Organization here. I served in the U.S. Army as a specialist in the 4th Infantry Division Field Artillery. I completed my active duty contract in 2018 with one deployment to Kandahar, Afghanistan in 2016. It is my pleasure to welcome all students, families, guests, and community members to today's ceremony. A bit of history behind Veterans Day for those who may not know. During World War I, known as the time as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, in the Palace of Versailles outside of the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice or a temporary ceasefire between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11th, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars. Veterans Day continues to be observed on November 11th, regardless of what day of the week it falls on. The restoration of the observance of Veterans Day to November 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but also helps focus attention on the importance of Veterans Day, a celebration to honor America's veterans. I would like to ask all who are able to please stand for the posting of the colors by the Honor Guard, American Legion of Canandaigua, Post 256. A thanks to our Canandaigua Honor Guard, Post 256. I would now like to introduce FLCC student singer Jonathan Carbone to lead us in the singing of the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jonathan. I would now like to invite to the stage Dr. Robert Nye, president of Finger Lakes Community College, a retired colonel with 30 years of service as an infantry officer with command and staff positions, conducted operational deployments in the Republic of Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq to say a few words of welcome.
Thank you, Dom. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here today to Finger Lakes Community College as we honor all of our veteran students, faculty, staff, and community veterans along with their families. I include family members because speaking from experience, starting from the day someone starts basic training to deployments, to returning home from deployments, having to adjust back to the real world, to leaving the military and re-entering civilian life, it can often be difficult. You family members are our rock, and without you, none of us could have completed our journey that has brought us here today. So thank you to the family members too. This day is also important to recognize student veterans and active duty veterans and members who have chosen FLCC for their next steps in their career exploration. We're proud to have received the recognition of being a military-friendly school since 2014. In years past, with distinction of bronze, silver, and for the second time this year, with gold status. What this really means, this distinction means that we walk the talk in caring for our veteran students. In 1962, Douglas MacArthur summarized the experience of World War I veterans in 3 distinct words: duty, honor, country. Those words so wonderfully embrace what it means to be a veteran throughout the ages. No matter when or where our veterans served, they served and embraced the call of duty, they served honorably, and they represent what it means to serve a higher calling, our country. Equally as important, whenever our veterans transition back to the civilian world, they continue to represent these values and set the example for others to emulate, which in my mind makes each and every one of our veterans American heroes. But there are also other unsung heroes who may not have served but have accepted the call to serve our veterans in other notable ways. One such place is the Department of Veteran Affairs. The VA serves our veterans in so many different ways and provides a lifetime of support to our veterans. And that is why it is an honor today to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Dr. Indra Sandal. Dr. Sandal serves as the Chief Innovation Officer for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Indra has a doctorate in biotechnology and an MBA. She also serves as a faculty member at MIT in the Catalyst Today of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Catalyst program, which is an initiative to accelerate innovation in healthcare and technology, and in particular for our veterans. From 2020 to 2022, Indra served as the Veterans Health Administration Entrepreneur in Residence and Executive Management Fellow. While there, she spearheaded an initiative for the VA Uber Health Connect, which is an alternative to provide transportation for our veterans to get to their medical appointments. Her husband, Satish, also serves for the VA right here as the Chief Medical Officer for the Canandaigua, Rochester, and Bath VA facilities. And then finally, additionally, Indra and Satish own Purplefoot Farms and Vineyard, and we are excited that they wish to connect and support our FLCC viticulture program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you Dr. Indra Sandal. Indra, welcome.
wanted to make sure my voice is fine. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. Nai, for such a good introduction. And also thank you, everyone. And I'm really, really honored to talk about the VA and also a lot of the things which we are doing in the VA, and also how I end up here in such a big ceremony today. So really appreciate everyone for coming here today and knowing a little bit what we do in the VA. So I will give a little bit of a highlight on the transformation innovation which is happening in the VA using the public-private collaboration. But before we'll go there, I really want to share my journey from growing up in India in veteran family and now serving the US veterans. I grew up in India. My dad was in Indian Air Force. He served Air Force 35 years. And while growing up, the three things which I learned very early in my life and still believe in all those three things. One is discipline, dedication, and determination. I did my PhD in biotechnology from India and moved to US for my postdoctorate. I was in University of Nebraska, in Virginia Tech, and being a researcher, the dream for the researcher is to one day become a professor, and I was on that track. I joined as an assistant professor in University of Utah, Salt Lake City, and started working on treatment for the cystic fibrosis patients. But back in my mind, there was always one thing, that I wanted to work for the VA and I wanted to serve veterans. Since I'm not a provider, I'm not a clinician, so how I can do that? And the other thing, which I'm very sure some of the audience might know, that if you want to work in the US, in the VA, Department of Veteran Affairs, you have to be a US citizen. And I was not. So in 2013, when I was serving as assistant professor, I became a citizen. And the very first thing what I did is applied all across the country to work for the VA. And I ended up in Memphis. And I'm a little bit overwhelmed with that, but yeah, I ended up in Memphis and as a researcher. The thing was that the goal was not to only work for the VA. The goal was that how I can impact the lives of the veterans. While working in the research, I can do that, and that may take forever. There was another way which I can do that, and that was innovation. That innovation, we can impact the lives of veterans. But on other side, you also have to know the business. Business, how to run innovation in the VA hospital, and how you are going to work with the management to make those things happen in the VA, which is almost impossible to do. So to achieve that, I went to school back, and I joined the Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern, and completed my MBA from there. It was a little bit of a hard, and I wanted to touch base on that for all the students who might be in the audience, that there's no right time or wrong time for the education. If you want to do something, go for it. I talked to my husband and said that he was a physician in Iowa City. I was in Memphis, and I said, I want to go to school. I said, yeah, sure, I will come with you. So we both went to the school, and it was a very hard journey, but it was worth. So I used to fly Friday night from Memphis to Iowa City. In the morning of Saturday morning at 4 o'clock, we used to drive to Chicago to attend our classes, which starts at 8 a.m. there. And then on Sunday night, we used to drive back to Iowa City. And then on Monday morning, I used to fly back to Memphis. We did this for 2 years. But because that's the way, if you want to do something in a right way, with the mission-oriented goal, you have to go for it. So we finished that, and as a result of which, I became a director of innovation in Memphis, VA. During that time, we launched a big innovation program, not only in Tennessee and Kentucky, but whole Delta region. And I became a VHA Innovation Fellow, because the goal was how fast and how I can impact the lives of veterans. And during that time, when I became a fellow, there was an opportunity that I can work on a biggest challenge which our veterans are facing in the access to care, and that was the transportation. And transportation is one of the largest barriers to the access to care for our veterans. 1.8 million missed appointments, which happens every year in the VA facilities, is because of the transportation. And it costs agency $4.4 billion. So is there any way we can bring a supplemental transportation of option for our veterans? And there how this VHA Uber Health Connect initiative came. The challenge was big because never VA collaborated or partnered with the private sector like Uber Health. So in that regard, we brought the Uber Health, did the partnership with the Uber Health, integrated their technology in our travel system so that the scheduler for the veteran can schedule the ride for the veteran, and veteran will get the notification on their cell phone. And they have to only say yes, and the ride will be there. They can come to the hospital, and when they are ready to go back home, again the ride will come and they can go home. Program benefit was huge because the veterans don't have to pay from their pocket. They don't have to wait for their family members to come to pick them up because the VA doesn't provide the transportation after 4 p.m. on the working days and in the weekend. So how we can do that? So when this happened, we launched it in 2022 in 10 VA hospitals in 5 states. Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Kansas. And after a success of 1 year, in 2023, we launched it more 63 VA hospitals. And the feedback from the veterans was huge. You can book the ride for the dialysis patient 1 year before, or you can book the ride 30 minutes when the veteran is ready to go home. So as a result of which, we saved around $250 million for the VA hospital and improved the veteran experience so they can come on time where they need the care. And that's how it happens. And where we are with that, at this time, after 3 years of the launch of this program, it is available in 110 VA hospitals. And by the end of next year, it will be available in all the 170 VA hospitals. So any one of you who are taking care from the VA, please check out with your VA hospital whether this is available at your place and if you need the transportation. So what's next with the Uber Health? Another partnership with the Uber, and that is Uber RX. As you know that for the access to care, we do need transportation. Even if you'll provide the care to the veterans, what's the next need what they have is the medication. And medication, sometimes veterans has to drive to the hospital to pick up their medication. If we can deliver the medication to their door within 2 hours, so they are done with their care in the VA, come home, and after 2 hours, they can get the medication. This initiative we are still exploring. Hopefully by the next year, this will be piloted in some of the veteran populations, especially in the rural area where you don't have a pharmacy close to their home. So that's the only one type of a partnership which I mentioned. In the VA, we are doing so many things every day so that we can create the innovative solution, and as a result of which we can provide them the transformative care what they deserve. I moved to Tampa around 2 years ago, last year in January. And considering that it's not only the end of the world that you got one public-private collaboration, you have to enlarge it, you have to bring more collaboration to the VA to bring all these initiatives again and again and again. As a result of which, we are launching our National Center of Innovation in Tampa, VA, which I'm leading at this time, and the purpose and the goal for that how can we create an innovation ecosystem where we can develop our people, technology, as well as the community, so that we can deliver the transformative, innovative solution to our veterans. And one of the initiatives there, you can see here, we have several collaborations at this time with the VA, MIT. As Dr. Nye mentioned, I'm a faculty at the MIT. We work with the MIT, and the VA employees work with the MIT to create some transformational innovation solution for the biggest challenges which we are facing in the healthcare. Some of the examples of the Microsoft, which we'll talk a little bit in a bit, health equity, which I talked about, the UberRx, and a high-tech programs, including our local Tampa Innovation Program, where we employ the employees, empower the employees to work on their idea. So this is quite new, but I'm very sure some of you might be thinking in the VA we don't go way beyond what we see outside world. That's not true. VA is far ahead of any healthcare system in the world. And this is something which we are building at this time so that we can develop people, technology, and community together. And here we have a venture studio, which is a combination of hackathon, Makeathon, and 6-month accelerator program. It's basically starting your own startup in the private sector. How does that work? We'll talk a little bit, might be interesting for you guys, that how you as a student can participate in these type of the activities and work on your dream project, which you want to do, not only for the VA, but for the whole world. So Hackathon is launched in January or March of this year. And Hackathon, if you don't know what is that, it's a 2-day event where a lot of the people from a different discipline come together and work on the challenges. So after 2.5 days, they can come up with the solution, and those solutions can move forward. And in the Makeathon, those solutions goes further, and we invest on those teams to work on their prototype. And once the prototype is developed, we invest on them for 6 months, which is called as an accelerator program, so that prototypes can be developed and can be tested and piloted in the VA and sustained in the VA. And that is a whole 1-year innovation cycle, which we are working on at this time. Hackathon is the one of its own kind, never happened in the VA. This May of 2024, we launched the Veterans Health MIT Hacking Medicine 2024 in Tampa, VA, in collaboration with the MIT Hacking Medicine and AI technology of the Microsoft. Dream big. I always say that we never thought that with the Microsoft, beside using their computer, we are going to go way beyond to bring their technology for our people. And here, when we collaborated with them, we focused on 3 tracks. We wanted to focus on the access to care. How can we bring the more solution in the access to care, prevent veteran suicide, and how we can hire faster in the VA hospital. As a result of which, this is quite interesting for you guys also. If you are interested in joining in 2025 Hackathon, you are most welcome to come and join us. And here, the 23 different states participated in that. You don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to be a VA employee to participate in these events. And we got 401 applications, out of which 217 hackers sat together and created 39 solutions. And those are 49 non-VA organizations participated in that. And the people from 27 different states came together. As a result of which, after 2.5 days, 9 teams won the competition, which are moving forward for the Makeathon. And you might be wondering what those teams might be. Creating something as a medication reconciliation for the veterans using the AI tools. Can we create a machine learning for the preventing the suicide risk using the decision tools? So those are some of the projects which people are working on. Makeathon is launched on October 18th of this year. We are on fast track and wanted to make sure that we can get it with the collaborators as benefit as they are getting from us. And Makeathon is also powered by the artificial intelligence technology with the Microsoft. At this time, we have 17 teams who are working in the Makeathon, where they are going through the 8 weeks of a virtual session where they are going to create their business case, which will be given by a feedback not only by the VA people, but the largest schools in the country, like MIT, Northwestern, the School of Management, and also people from the Veteran Service Organization like the American Legion. And after their feedback, they are again going to compete in Tampa on a demo day, which is happening on December 10th to 12th, and 16 teams are going to be chosen to move forward to work on their dream projects for the 6 months, along with the Microsoft, who is going to create the app and the AI platform for these projects to be tested and piloted next year. So, and in the Makeathon, we are getting also the people all across the country. It's not only the VA. So those are the innovation. Those are the few innovation which is happening in the VA. But what's next for us? Like Dr. Nai mentioned, Satish Andata, who is my husband, he's here, and we are around 1,200 miles apart. He lived in Finger Lakes, and I lived in Tampa. But then also we have some things, by the end of the day, we both have the same mission. And the mission is we both are serving veterans, and we love to do that. And but on the other note, we are also venturing into the entrepreneurship, and which is our Purple Parrot Vineyard Farm. 2 years ago, when Satish moved to the Finger Lakes healthcare system, we bought the 84-acre land with 20 acre of vineyard. And at this time, we are only growing the grapes, but not have our winery. We are hoping that one day, in collaboration with the community college and with the Finger Lake community, we are going to have our own winery, and hopefully you will come and enjoy there. So that's my journey, but I want to say a few things that while I am still learning in my life so many things, but the 3 things which I think is very important, and one also being you going through the student life at this time, be passionate what you do. And that passion will take you to your goal. And the second thing, whatever you do, make it mission-oriented. And that will give you so much of a power to do some of the things which you cannot even imagine you can do it. And in the end, I always say, dream big, because I never thought that I will be standing here and talking in front of you about my journey coming from India and serving and doing that job which I always love to do. That dream big, no idea is small, and nothing is impossible. And lastly, I want to thank all the veterans who have trusted us throughout our innovation program and who are continuing helping us to create the transformational innovation so that we can provide the best care to them what they deserve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Indra, for your keynote remarks and for joining us today. I would now like to invite you to enjoy the video tribute to our veterans. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage Dr. Laura Ortiz, FLCC's Provost and Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs.
Thank you, Dom. Good afternoon. It is also my honor to be celebrating with each of you on this Veterans Day. We are so proud of our FLCC student veterans and their families as they continue to grow and thrive and contribute to the holistic success of folks here at FLCC. We find our student veterans in all areas of the college as they continue to serve beyond their time in the military. Our veteran students are serving as leaders on student corporation, like Dom, the president, and our military spouses and partners serving as the president of our honors organization called CAPES. They are also leading and creating groups for our college community like Magic the Gathering as executive members of our esports team or captains of our athletic teams. The list goes on and on. The point is that our veteran students have found a place for themselves at FLCC. Your military service, experience, and knowledge are our gain. Thank you for selecting FLCC as your college. To our student veterans and spouses, your commitment to our community has made a significant impact, inspired others, and continues to foster a spirit of collaboration and growth, which has enhanced both the academic and co-curricular culture of our college for years to come. Your guidance and support have been invaluable. Your willingness to share your experiences has enriched our environment. Thank you for your hard work, your resilience, and unwavering passion to serve. You leave a lasting impact and a lasting legacy, and we are incredibly grateful for all that you have done and that you continue to do. With that, we would like to take a moment to recognize all of our student faculty, staff, and community, active military, and veterans in the audience. Please stand if you are able to be recognized. This is all veterans and all active. Thank you. And of course, no person is without their support system. If you are a spouse, partner, parent, grandparent, or family member of an active duty or veteran, please stand to be recognized if you are able. Thank you. Thank you again for selecting FLCC as your home for your education and for adding so much experience and vibrancy to our campuses. And with that, I would like to bring back Dom Dominguez-Hover to the stage. And here he magically appears.
Thank you, Dr. Ortiz, for being part of the ceremony today. As we conclude our program today, we have a few announcements. This event kicks off a week-long salute to our veteran students, faculty, and staff, FLCC's annual Veterans Week. We will be hosting various events that include each sports gaming event, that's right out in the lounge, an Ask a Veteran panel discussion on Wednesday, a WebEx presentation from the Vietnam War Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. Please feel free to join us online Thursday evening for this talk at 8 p.m. You can find the link to the FLCC's events page on our website. Lastly, on Friday, our annual Armed Forces ball and dance from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the cafe. I would like to personally thank all the speakers, those behind the scenes that make this event possible each year. We invite you all to please join today's hosts, the FLCC Student Corporation, for a dessert reception out in the hallway following this event. I'll now ask the FLCC singer, Jonathan Carbone, to please return to the stage for the singing of God Bless America, after which the Canandaigua American Legion 256 will retire the colors. Oh, sorry. I will now ask the audience members who are able to stand, please.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Jonathan, and please continue to stand for the retiring of the colors. Thank you again to Canandaigua Legion Post 256. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet for the dinner and ball, there will be a table right outside, so please stop by and grab those. Other than that, that concludes our event. Thank you all for coming.